Alright, so I'm gonna tell you exactly how it is with the a6700. Who is it for? Is it any good? What are the features? What should you care about? I'm in this very nice scenery, as you can see. However, the sun is setting down, so I need to be a little quick. This is a tiny APS-C camera with top-level specs, with some of the best autofocus features, 4K up to 120 FPS and 10-bit color. The body itself isn't actually that lightweight. It weighs about just under 500 grams, I think, which is only about 20% lighter than most full-frame cameras. However, the big thing is the fact that the lenses are super tiny. So I've found this camera to be about half the weight of my most full-frame setups. So what do you get in the box? Well, here's the unboxing. To be honest, the packaging is quite disappointing. I love the fact that it was tiny. The box was really small compared to other cameras. You only got the camera, a battery, some manuals, but no charger, not even a cable. I think for how much I paid for this, for that amount of money, like, you should be getting something at least, no? The autofocus is super quick and snappy. Wow. It's so tiny and lightweight. Like, this feels illegal. Look at my filter size. Like, this felt small on my lenses on full frame. Now it feels huge. So this camera actually brought me back to Sony and back to using APS-C. I've been using full frame for about 2 years now, but this camera immediately caught my attention. It is super lightweight, easy to use, and what most people don't tell you is the one-handed operations are super easy with this. So you could be snapping your photos, taking videos, it's super light, so most of your weight is on one hand, and then with the other you're mostly just tilting it when you're filming or just helping out when you're taking photos. So you get a flippy screen, which is very nice. A little bit of a different layout overall. I can access everything very quickly. I've set it up in a way where I'm quite efficient with it. Where the camera is lacking really is in the fact that there is still no joystick and there are no two memory cards. However, for me personally, I use 2 memory cards on very rare occasions. Like, I've had 2 memory slots on my cameras for almost 2 years now, and I've used it maybe twice. I'm not a huge fan of these doors that they put here, like the bottom one. It's a bit plasticky, and I don't know if the clip mechanism is that great. You get quite a big battery life with this because it does use the Z-type batteries, which are very good. I've found it to last quite a while, especially given the fact that I'm shooting 4K at 10-bit. What I'm a huge fan of is the back button autofocus. And I love that for photography, where you don't have to take focus every time. You just focus once and then change your framing. It's super easy. And of course, I can't not mention the autofocus, which of course is absolutely amazing. So there are a lot of things going wrong right now. First of all, it's windy. It's so windy. The sun is shining at my face. I hope I'm not overexposed. Hopefully everything is fine, and let's test the autofocus. I'm at f1.4. Let me walk back. I'm also using the wide autofocus area, so hopefully it can figure out where I'm at. And I tested it a little bit previously at my home, and the autofocus is incredible. It's super quick. look how close I get, and it's instant. I mean, autofocus isn't an issue for this camera, I'm telling you. Coming from a camera that doesn't really have the top of the line autofocus, this is a game changer. And not only in the way that it's fast or that it recognizes people, it is smooth. I've tried it out with just handheld shooting in 50 and 100 frames per second. It doesn't disappoint. It is smooth, it is fast, it is accurate. It picks up the things that I wanted to pick up. So in the future, I don't really see how Sony could improve this even more, given the fact that it's pretty much perfect at this point. So just a little test. This is 10,000 ISO, 20,000, 32,000. So most people are gonna wonder, how does it compare to full frame? Is it better than full frame? How can it be so feature-packed? Where are the problems? I live in a region where it isn't really particularly hot at the moment. In room temperatures, it does get a little warm when you record in 4K, 50 frames per second, 60 frames per second, 100 frames per second. It does get a little warm to the touch, but it has never overheated on me. This is a reoccurring thing. If you're planning on shooting for hours in 4K in these high frame rates, which I don't recommend, why would you do that? It's not the best for that. So it's not a cinema camera where you can just, you know, grind it for hours. It's not meant for that. So second of all, the low light. It's okay. Coming from a full frame camera with dual base ISO, which this camera also does have, it's okay. Full frame obviously is way better, so if you're planning to shoot in pitch darkness, maybe choose full frame. However, I've shot in dim lighting scenarios already, and I don't find myself stretching ISO that much in video. Given the fact that it has amazing autofocus, and if you pair it with a good lens like this 15mm f1.4, I think it's gonna serve you well, especially with the autofocus where the f1.4 now can keep up. 32,000 ISO. Testing the autofocus at f1.4. Still catches. It is slower than on daytime and on lower ISOs, but it still catches it pretty quickly and reliably. Whenever I aim at the sky though, it starts to wander around. I mean, the sky right now is cloudy and smooth, so it's hard for it to figure out what's happening. So, is the low light a problem? Not really, but it's not really top of the line either. But I don't think you should be worrying about that too much. I'm personally a full frame user, as I said, and coming back to APS-C, it's been so great. It's light, it's tiny, it fits in my palm, it's easy to use. I can do camera moves I've forgotten I've wanted to do. I feel at home using this. And that might just be me, that might just be my experience with this. I picked it up, I immediately fell in love with the size, with the weight. This feels illegal with how it feels, with how easy it is to use. So I think that's what you should be worrying about the most. I feel like comparing APS-C to full frame and Sony to everyone else in general is quite useless. It's either what features are you looking for and what are you doing with your photography and videography. Also, I'm using glasses. One, because there's a lot of flies that fly into my eyes when I'm riding a bicycle. And second, because I want to see if it struggles at any point, if the autofocus struggles. If you want some really good video, top of the line autofocus, pretty good colors, tiny and compact body with a great lens selection, I think you've found your camera. So is this a good hybrid camera? Absolutely. Like, this camera will achieve anything you want. It's not really limited by a lot of things. I personally think there's going to be a lot of new shooters out there using this camera. I think it's an amazing investment, and I think it's going to stack up very well for the next 5 years or so. If you want a fun camera that you want to use, that is easy to use, not only in the menus, not only on the buttons, but with the movement, with the feel itself, you don't have to search hard. Like, here it is, it has arrived. And that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this helped you, because I know it's confusing. There's a lot of cameras. See you next time.